welcome to Take Me Out, the ultimate podcast about ballparks and the baseball experience. It's May 21st, 2025. I'm Alexandra Ellis, and I'm joining my friend Timothy Malcolm.
What's up, baseball fans? Welcome to Take Me Out, episode number 16 of our podcast, all about ballparks and going to ballparks and seeing baseball games, having great times. What we do on this podcast is we talk about what is happening in ballparks across the country, particularly in the major leagues. Every single episode, we run through some of the stories that are out there, and we talk about ballpark news, and we give you sort of updates on what's happening out there with teams maybe moving and things changing in different cities and whatever. But then we get into even more stuff later on in the episode. And today, and Take Me Out, we're going to go around the league. So we do this every month.
Yeah,
and
it's more of like a laid-back kind of a vibe to it. As it not saying we're a really formal podcast, but it's kind of more chill. It's like, hey, what's up?
Yeah,
let's check on things. Yeah.
We're going to just kind of, it's basically like we do the news in the beginning of the episode every time, and it takes like 20 minutes to kind of go through a couple stories. We're going to go through more news, but it's not like the serious, like, I mean, some of it's actually kind of serious this week in a weird way, but they're smaller, more bite-sized news stories, and we kind of riff a little bit more, we get more casual talking about them. But that's what we're going to do. We're just going to kind of go around the league, go around the ballpark. It's actually called Around the Ballpark. I forget that right.
You like a little, like a 1950s, 1940s propaganda thing, like a black and white thing with a ball going around a globe.
You really like that. You like that imagery. You use that.
I do. I don't know. It's weird. I think I watched maybe too much Indiana Jones growing up. I don't know.
It's possible. It's possible. But around the ballpark, we're going to go around several ballparks and just look at what's been happening across the league over the past month. And that's what we're going to do here on Take Me Out. So that's the episode, and I'm Tim, and you're Alex, and how are you, Alex?
I'm great. I'm ready. I got some ballparks, ball games in my future. I'm going to the game, like the Astros game with a friend on Thursday, then I'm going to another game Friday, and then I'm going to skip something because we're going to talk about in a sec. That I'm going to go to the game in Seattle in August, and then September, this is very tentative, but I'm looking at flights. Your girl might be going to Toronto to see the Astros play up there. So my first time in Canada. I'm excited.
Are they going to let you in and or back?
I'm sure they will. Back, it depends on what I do with my cell phone. What kind of phone I bring with me.
Okay.
No, we'll see. I'm sure. I mean,
I don't know. I don't
want to joke about this right now. I'm scared, but
not to get political. More just joking about you. But now I'm curious. What would you possibly be bringing back or doing in Canada that they might not let you in?
Oh boy, let's not get political. You said it. Let's not get political. But I was dancing around.
I thought you were like, I don't know, getting in doing some gang stuff or whatever up there.
No, I can't talk about that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I'm excited to visit Canada once I book those tickets. It just seems like a nice place to visit. So I'm excited to go see the Astros play up there when it finally happens. But I am excited because guess what, Tim? You and I are going to a game together.
We are going to a game together.
Coming Tuesday. It's going to be so much fun.
I should probably tell my wife about this. I did not tell her.
Well, yeah.
It'll be fine.
Hey, honey, don't listen to the episode tomorrow. I'll talk to you about it. It's fine.
It'll be fine. But yes, Tuesday, May 27th, we are going to see the Astros and Athletics at Dyken Park. And apparently it's Dollar Dog Night at Dyken.
Yeah.
Which not a lot of teams do dollar dogs anymore. Some of the teams.
Oh, that's sad.
Not a lot of teams did them in the first place. There were maybe a handful or so. The Phillies did it for a long time. And then came a point where you'd have influencers and Philly sports video dudes and stuff like that be like, I'm going to eat 20 hot dogs at the Phillies game tonight, or I'm going to buy 100 dogs and just give them to people. And the Phillies are finally like, maybe we shouldn't do this anymore.
Yeah, I'm sure a lot of that's a waste.
The hot dogs, and maybe I also think what happened was there was a particular game or something where they threw hot dogs on the field. I think that happened. I mean, don't get into the jokes.
This is why we can't have nice things, people.
Don't get into the jokes about Philadelphia. But they have since turned to buy one get one dogs. So BOGO Dog Night is what they do.
BOGO Dog Night.
So, you can still eat, like, you buy 3 hot dogs. I guess it's $18, whatever the heck it is, $6 a dog or something. But then you get 3 free, so you're getting 6 dogs for $18. It's a pretty good deal, all things considered. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
that's what they do now. But Dollar Dog Night is fantastic, and I can't
It's
wait.
great.
I wonder what my strategy will be. We're not doing the 999, right? That sounds
No,
ridiculous.
no, you can. I'll sit further and further away from you if you keep doing
I
that.
don't think I could do the 999 on a Tuesday night. That doesn't,
No, that's
because I got to
asking too
work
much.
on
You would have to start
Wednesday,
fasting now,
but
and
I
it's
got to
just
work the next day, so that's not a really good idea to have 9
that's
beers hours before I go into the
no.
office. Not really a great idea.
Yeah, no, I would not vouch for that.
I
But I'm excited. That'll be fun.
may have one beer at the game, maybe one, or
Mhm.
we'll talk about this later. There's something else I could have at the game, but we'll get to
Okay.
that. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that'll be next week, the 27th, Tuesday. We'll do some sort of episode kind of coming off of that, whether it is that week's episode, probably will be. We'll probably just turn it around there really quick. Maybe we'll collect
Hmm.
some audio video from the game and use that as part of the episode.
Yeah,
I
for
don't know yet.
sure.
We haven't really strategized this, but next week's episode will be Take Me Out Live at Dyken Park. If you're hearing this podcast at all,
Hmm.
and you are going to the game on the 27th, May 27th,
Yeah.
Astros and A's, we'll be there. Say hi, buy us $1 dog,
Yes.
and have fun with us. So there you go.
Just look for Tim in his Phillies hat.
In the Phillies,
Probably be the only one there.
It's behind me. It's behind me.
There it is. Hey.
Right behind me.
And I'll be wearing some Astros jersey. I have so many jerseys. I don't know what to do with all of them. I have a few of them, that are no longer in season, I guess. I have a Kyle Tucker jersey. I have a Bregman. I got a Dallas Keuchel jersey somewhere. I have a Carlos Correa jersey, but yeah, I think I might stick with my Sunday alternate Yordan Alvarez jersey. That's my favorite jersey.
I do think the Astros fans, they are one of the 3 or 4 most team dressed fans in baseball. When you go to a game, everybody's wearing a jersey or a shirt or even more. And there are only a few other teams in baseball where you can say that throughout the crowd. And the Astros are right up there. But more, I don't think there's a fan base in baseball that dresses up as wildly as Astros fans do. Because you get some really, really crazy get-ups from the Astros fans.
Oh yeah, they do like the fan of the game thing, and they you see people with those like giant chains and stuff like that, and big mohawks. I actually know one of those guys who dress up for those things too. So I haven't seen him in a while, but he's a cool dude.
You talking about the Space Band?
No, there's another one, and I can't think of.
So I know the Spaceman. I know the Spaceman.
Okay.
I'm a friend of his. He actually.
The one I'm talking about is Marcus or Marco. I can't think. It's been a long time, but he used to come when I used to host trivia. He would come a lot and everything. That's how we met and everything. And big Astros fans there. So I'd always know he would be there if I had like a lot of teams and everything, because like he would always have this outrageous team name, and I was like, oh, Marcus is here. Cool.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, the 27th, again, Tuesday night, Astros Athletics, Take Me Out Live. Very excited for that. But let's get into some of the headlines that are happening around the league and ballparks across the country.
Let's do it. Let's start in Seattle. The Mariners are proposing major upgrades to T-Mobile Park.
Yeah, the Mariners have been in T-Mobile Park since, when did they open that? 2000, I believe, right around that time.
Yeah.
It's 25 years, I believe. So it's it's time to do some upgrades. They have a scoreboard that they're looking to upgrade, which is funny because the Mariners scoreboard is one of the largest scoreboards in baseball. It is it's a 57 by 202 foot scoreboard per Dectronics.
That is not small.
It's the 6th largest video board in baseball. Now, we talked about this last week with the Orioles, who are making also a big video board change. That the delta between the largest video board in baseball and the second largest is pretty wide. The Mets have the largest, and it's something like 14,000 square, whatever the heck it is, square foot. I don't know what it is. It's really big. It's really big. 14,000 square foot, something like that. The second largest, I believe, is Comerica Park, the Tigers. It's like 11,000 or something like that. So it's a decent gulf between those two. And then you get like 3, 4, 5 is like, I want to say what the Twins are up there, the Phillies are up there, and they are somewhere in that like 10,000 range or what have you. And then it starts dropping down pretty precipitously. So the Mariners have, it's not quite half the size of the Citi Field board. I think it's about a little bit larger than that. I want to say it's maybe 7,000 or 8,000 square feet. I'm not doing the math right on top of my head right now, but they looked at it. I think it's like a 15-year-old board, and they're like, well, we need a new one because after 15 years, that's like a roof on a house. It's have a shelf life of 15. We gotta change it up after 15 years. So I guess it's time. Sure, great. But they're also proposing some other upgrades. They include elevators, escalators, just security measures and things like that. There's also some, I believe, lighting upgrades that they're doing there at the park. And that lightning that just...
I just heard thunder.
Right?
That was thunder. I heard some earlier too. I was like, oh, that's something. But
very
no,
loud.
okay.
It was very loud.
Yeah, it's coming.
Well, good thing we're talking about Seattle.
Exactly. I'm sure they don't have the mosquito problem we do. It's all good.
No, in Seattle, no. This is all comes from the Puget Sound Business Journal. So, yeah, the big thing is the video board is getting bigger, potentially, and they're making some other adjustments. They're looking for $24.3 million in upgrades. So, I'm not sure exactly how I don't know if they got to go through the state or the county or what, but $24.3 million in upgrades they're looking for there at T-Mobile. So, it's what you got to do as part of a ballpark. But these video boards are getting ridiculous.
They do. And it's like, this is me and my frugalness every now and then. It's like, is it still work okay? Yeah, then why do we need a new one? It's like, it's the whole, we've got McDonald's at home, that kind of a thing, I guess. But it's just, it's just like, if you don't have, I understand, like, if you need to upgrade, like, elevators and escalators, because you do need that. And security, but like, it's a video board I know it's a big part of the game as well, but it's almost like a vanity thing. So I don't know much about it. I'll check it out when I'm up there in September though.
I guess if there's any kind of, I do imagine after 15 years, those boards do have to get changed out because, yes, that one is indoor, outdoor, but the ones that are outside, they have the elements on them all the time. And so there is deterioration that takes place. You do have to probably at some point change whatever is inside those boards. So maybe a full scale change is better than doing minor upgrades that just cost you more in the long run. I don't know. I should know more. I should be better at engineering and electrician stuff. And I don't understand.
You're not a Renaissance man.
No,
you don't know all
I'm a writer, okay. But this is at least good to hear for the Mariners that they're making the upgrades they need to make to T-Mobile Park.
Sure. I'm on board. All right, let's go down to Anaheim. Anaheim is likely to wait to discuss Angel Stadium.
We've talked about Angel Stadium a couple times now, and Anaheim's battle to try to figure things out with the Angels. So to refresh, if I remember this correctly, there was a big scandal with the mayor of Anaheim, a former mayor of Anaheim, and that prompted the city to get an audit of the ballpark of Angel Stadium. And the audit revealed that there isn't an audit that takes place typically, and the city doesn't really know what's going on with the ballpark and something like that. The point is that there's been this question in Anaheim about, well, how much do the Angels really care about being in Anaheim and the future of the ballpark and the future of staying here in the city? Can we come to an agreement? Can we come to the table and get to some agreement where we can have the Angels stay here for decades on end and make whatever upgrades we need to make to Angel Stadium, do what we have to do? The Angels have said that there is, potential for upgrades to be made to the ballpark. It would cost like $300 million plus or something like that, an outrageous number. And the city's like, well, we're not sure yet. That seems like a lot. So that's kind of where it's been. The deputy city manager, Ted White, he wants a full study, basically, and a presentation on the park, but he doesn't want to do that until after the season is over. You think about it, the ballpark's going to go through more wear and tear as the season rolls on, and so you can't really look at it through the lens of May 2025. Just wait till the season's over and then kind of let people not be at the park and then do a full study and look at the maintenance, look at the inside of the ballpark, look at the plumbing, look at the HVAC, look at everything in the ballpark to see what needs to actually happen, how much these upgrades are going to cost. And so that's the plan. And that makes sense. The Angels are going to be there till 2032. There are options to stay in Angel Stadium till 2038. My feeling is that the Angels may I don't know. Maybe they kind of want to leave. I don't know. I have no apps. I absolutely no understanding, no knowledge of this. I'm just kind of reading tea leaves a little bit, but it feels like the Angels are like not necessarily making the big improvements they need to make unless they get a really big sweet deal. And of course, the city kind of coming back and saying, let's wait on it, to me says it's going to be a little bit tighter, a little bit more tense over the next couple of years. That's my take, at least.
Yeah, and that is an incredibly smart idea to wait till after the season because an audit on any building, but like especially a giant stadium like that's going to take a long time. Like I'm hoping they can get all of it done during the off season because that's a lot of square footage to look over, a lot of things to look at. That's
Yeah.
oof.
I mean, you got to do it at some point, and
Right.
because it is taxpayer funded as well, they really do have to. The city's point is, if taxpayers are funding the stadium, then they need to know what's going on here, and
Yeah.
so that makes sense. I get it, and I also get waiting till the end of the year just because you don't want. I mean, you just don't even want to talk about this till the end of the year because what's the point? You're not really going to
Right.
say nothing's really going to happen anyways. And you have the season happening, and you don't want that. You don't want stadium talk to kind of be ongoing with the product on the field, which has been okay for the Angels this year. They started out pretty strong. I think they've fallen back to earth a little bit this year, but
Mm.
they're not a laughing stock this year, right? They're
No.
still not a laughing stock, which is good.
AL West is it's interesting right now. It's an interesting season so far.
That is true.
Yeah. All right. Missouri Senate stops Plan Coal to keep Royals in Missouri.
This is per KCUR in Kansas City. The Republican Senate in Missouri ended the state's legislative session early by forcing a vote to ban abortion and repeal a paid sick leave law. Yes. That meant, among other things, that a package aimed to finance stadiums to keep the Chiefs and Royals in Missouri did not make it to vote. The Missouri House, by the way, did say yes to the plan to at least look into financing stadiums for the Chiefs and the Royals. But the Senate decided, let's just move on this abortion ban and let's just finish it cold here. So
No comment.
let's put all of our comments about that aside.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the Royals, there's been a lot of talks about the Royals moving to downtown or somewhere else in the city, maybe North Kansas City, maybe, I think there was another place that they were talking about, but a couple different scenarios where the Royals are staying in Kansas City but going somewhere closer to the action, supposedly. Don't know about the Chiefs' plans, don't know where that's going to take them, but there's a couple teams right now that have this going on. The Diamondbacks are doing their whole Chase Field thing and trying to get improvements done, and that's been kind of dragging along. The Angels, obviously, we just talked about. The Rays, who knows what's going to happen with them, and it seems like they're moving toward a future where there's a new ballpark, but maybe not even in Tampa St. Pete. The Royals are kind of in this bin as well, where we don't know exactly what the future holds for them and their ballpark situation. But I do feel like if any of these four teams, there's more thunder. If any of these four teams feels like they're going to stay put in their city, in their area, it's the Royals more than anybody else.
I would think so too. I mean, yeah, it is kind of a little bit of a headache to get out there, especially from the main cities that are downtown and everything. But wow, I mean, has this ever happened in any time in baseball where so many teams are kind of in flux if they're going to stay or they're going to go? Or because I can't remember this much chatter happening during the off season.
I think, excuse me, it's a cough. There have been. I feel like there's always ballpark proposals and owners threatening to move and politicians playing games to try to get a sweeter deal on a ballpark or a sweeter deal to keep a team in or whatever. That's always happening. And I want to say back in the 90s, I mean, it seemed like every year there were several teams that were threatening to leave where they were. I mean, the Astros threatened to leave Houston at one point. The Phillies threatened to leave Philly if they didn't get a new stadium deal, and they finally got Citizens Bank Park. And teams just do this to they want a new ballpark. They want they want money to finance a ballpark, and they want to be able to make it glitzier and better, and they want to attract more fans. They want to raise ticket prices, and they want to be, have a bigger slice of the pie. And so I feel like in the case of the Rays, it is certainly like that to me, where they're just going to go for the best deal that they possibly can get, whether it's in Tampa St. Pete or not. I feel like in the Diamondback situation, it's a little bit less like that, but I do think there is this, I don't know, there's a deep part of me that thinks the Diamondbacks are not going to be in Phoenix for the next 25 years. I think there's something that's going to change there. The Angels,
Yeah.
it feels like there's a lot of power brokers trying to play games, and I don't know exactly what the read is yet on that, but if we are tea leaf readings there. The Royals, to me, it just feels like that city wants to keep the team there.
Yeah, I can see that.
Ownership, I'm sure they would love to get a stadium. They would love more money. They would love more opportunity to spend. But, it feels a little bit more like they're just going to figure something out there in Kansas City. I don't know if Kauffman Stadium is going to be their home 5 years, 10 years from now. But I think they'll be in Kansas City still.
Nice. I like the proximity they have to Arrowhead Stadium. I think it's kind of fun
It's
as
a
well.
good setup. Yeah, that whole the tailgating is great. It's removed from everything, so there's a lot of parking. The traffic isn't too bad. It's a decent setup, and the only real setups the only setup that's really like that in all baseball is in Philly, where you have the baseball and the football stadium and the basketball hockey stadiums removed from the downtown.
Seattle's got it too, don't they? Oh no, not removed from the town. Seattle's got
removed from the downtown, like removed enough to where you can't walk from downtown. Like you can walk from downtown Seattle to those parks.
Mm-hmm.
But, in Philly, it's like they are removed from downtown and they're also isolated in their own place together. And it makes for a really incredible atmosphere when it's all popping, which is what you want. But the Royals obviously have been up and down over the past several years. Nevertheless, I don't know. I still feel like that team's going to stay there, but what it looks like, I'm not sure.
Well, we'll see what happens.
So that's it for the headlines across the league, but we are going to go deeper. When we come back here on Take Me Out, we are going to go around the ballpark May 2025 and see what's going on in different ballparks. The good, the bad, and yes, there is ugly coming up. Stay with us on Take Me Out. Stop it. Welcome back to Take Me Out. Tim here, and Alex is there.
Hello.
Hi. So we're going to go around the ballpark. This is, again, a segment that we do once a month where we take a pause from giving you guides and giving you interviews and giving you history and whatever else. And we look at the current day setup and talk about some of the good, the bad, and the ugly that have been happening in ballparks across the league with a focus on the ballparks, not necessarily about the teams. We know what's happening in baseball. As far as I know right now, the Phillies are the number one team in the National League. They have the best record in the National League, which is fantastic.
Huzzah.
The Tigers have the best record in all of baseball. They've been playing outstanding.
Who saw that coming?
They were really good last year. They did win a playoff series against a certain team. Not gonna, they're just gonna end that there.
Mm-hmm. Smart.
Yeah. Your team's doing okay. I think they still have.
They're doing okay.
They have juice in them for sure. And then of course you have the Dodgers and the Yankees are playing well. The Padres and the Mets are playing well, and so there's a lot of action happening.
Orioles just fired their guy.
The Orioles look terrible this year. That's I feel really bad for those fans because it seemed like they were primed to have that kind of team, and just this year just fell off the wayside. And maybe that means next year's better. Then there's still time this year. The Astros weren't very good last year at this time, and then they picked it up, and they got all the way to the playoffs and nearly made it all the way to the LCS. But nevertheless,
this is our year. I feel it. No, I don't.
This is our year. You've had years. You've had multiple years. In the last
I want more.
Several. Stop, okay? You don't deserve more.
Oh, come on.
All right. Well, let's go around the ballpark. We're going to go dip into different ballparks across the country and see what's been happening over the past month. Pick out some stories, the good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to talk about them, and that's what we're going to do here. So, I mentioned this one off the top where we're going to Dyken Park. We're going to see the Astros, Dollar Dogs. I said I might have a beer. But maybe, and I'm actually probably going to do this instead. There is one specific drink, Alex, that I think I will probably have instead.
Okay.
And here to talk about it is Alex Ellis.
Hey, thanks for having me. So the Astros have raised the price of the El Tiempo Margarita.
So you have not had the El Tiempo Margarita at Dyken Park, I take it.
Not. Correct.
So it's been a long time since I've had an El Tiempo Margarita to begin with. So the story is El Tiempo is the name of a popular Mexican restaurant chain based in Houston. I'm not going to get into the whole story, but they came out of a family that had restaurants already in Houston. And so there's this like dueling family Mexican Tex-Mex sort of rivalry that has grown from El Tiempo's birth. El Tiempo has since expanded. They have, I want to say 10 locations or something like that across Texas, including one out like at the former Globe Life Field or Park, Globe Life Park, which is now Choctaw Stadium in Arlington. They actually like there's El Tiempo on the first level of Choctaw. You can access it from outside the park, but it's also in the park.
Okay.
So that's very interesting. But then they have a whole bunch of other locations in the Houston area. Tex-Mex, fajitas, legendary fajitas, enchiladas, the whole 9 yards, and of course margaritas. And a couple years back, El Tiempo decided, they struck a deal with the Astros to have a vendor space at Daikin Park, and El Tiempo has an upstairs in the third level in center field. They occupy that sort of restaurant. It's a vendor space that has chairs and a little bit more space than other places. It used to be a Torchy's Tacos. Now it's an El Tiempo.
Yeah.
And they have, I think, quesadillas and maybe like burritos and tacos and stuff like that. And I think they have the margaritas there. But then also they have the margaritas down on the first level. I want to say it's on the first baseline in the concourse. And these margaritas, so they raised the price from $15.99 to $20.99, I believe, from like $16
That's
to $21.
That's a jump. Jeez, yeah.
But here is probably why. So there have been TikTok videos over the course of the last couple of years, and specifically this year, they've kind of escalated, where you get fans who have one of these margaritas and then cut to them lying on the floor, just drunk off their ass. Now, it's TikTok, so they're playing, right? These fans are like obviously joking.
That's true.
And they're entertaining you. They're putting on a show. But from what I have heard, and this is why I got to have one next week, I think, and I've heard eyewitness reports, these margaritas are super strong. Like maybe the strongest beverage you can have at a major league ballpark.
I'm not going to lie. There is no, from my drinking days back about 4 years ago, I don't remember ever having a weak margarita in the entire city of Houston. Maybe those was one just made by hand, but the ones that come out of the frozen machines,
oh my God,
those pack a punch.
Yeah.
And I remember I've had a few at El Tiempo. There's a few other restaurants that I think have stronger ones, but that one doesn't mess around from what I remember. And man, I'm tasting tequila in the back of my throat right now. I don't like it. I'm just thinking about it. I tasting all the sugar because there's so much. But yeah, man, how? So I don't think so. I don't have TikTok. I have a TikTok because I have friends who send me the TikTok links. I do Instagram like an adult. Are these massive margaritas, or is it just because they put the most ridiculous amount of really bad tequila in there? No offense, El Tiempo.
No, I think I want to say I don't know. I should have done more research on this. I think it's like a 12 ounce or something like that. It's a regular size kind of a thing. But yeah, apparently these things, look, like you said, margaritas, I've had plenty in the Houston area. And yeah, there are some really, some places, I've heard of places that put Everclear in their margaritas, in their margarita mixes. And,
we have one of those in college. Yes, I remember those.
Places don't mess around. If if you're ordering a margarita, they're going to give you a margarita. So I can understand why, if they're batching this thing up and they want to put a little kick into it, yeah, why not? So for that reason, I'm okay with it going to $21. It's a steep price, but look, you're probably not going to need another drink. And
probably
a
not.
Beer at Daikin Park costs you $16 from the St. Arnold bar, $15-$16. And those are pretty impressive beers too. So do you want...
I'm looking at TikTok and I had looked up Astros El Tiempo, and these are regular 16-ounce plastic cups.
Yeah. They're regular cups. Yeah.
My gosh. And these people are acting goofy, but hey, it's TikTok. So it's that's interesting.
But they sell St. Arnold Tarnation at the St. Arnold bar, and Tarnation, for those who don't know, St. Arnold's a good brewery out of Houston. Tarnation is like a Belgian strong ale. It's 8.5%, and they sell that big boy style, I think even. Definitely have had big boy Tarnations at an Astros game, which is that advisable? I don't know, but I
don't know. They sell tall boys at our car. Our car is what, 7.2? Our car is nothing to sneeze at either.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
So look, these are boozy boys. So I think it's okay. $21 if you wanna get a little tipsy for the Astros game. Have yourself the
I
margarita.
mean, that's
Have a
probably
little margarita.
that's more than the price of one of those is probably going to be less than what you would spend on beer to get to that level of alcohol, I guess, right?
Yeah, probably.
So, yeah, might just work out for you in the end. Cool. All right. Moving on to Chicago. The Chicago Archdiocese is to host, I don't know if I pronounced that correctly, Archdiocese? To host Mass. Diocese?
Yeah, Archdiocese.
Okay. It's been a while since I've been to Mass. I apologize. To host Mass at Wright Field.
Of course, they're hosting Mass at Wright Field because Pope Leo the 14th, the new Pope, is you listen to this podcast, you know this for sure. He is an outed Chicago White Sox fan.
He was at the World Series in 2005.
Game 1, White Sox Astros. White Sox won because they swept that series. We all know that.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, he was there. There's a picture of him standing there on his phone.
Yeah.
There's the Pope.
Yeah.
I don't know. I love this. I love that we got an American Pope. I mean, I'm Catholic. We're not going to talk about religion on this show because I can then talk for about hours and hours about my story with religion. We don't have to do that. It's not really worth it for anybody to hear, let alone my family. So, but I think it's cool that there's an American Pope. I think it's cool that the guy seems like a regular dude in a lot of ways. And I've been watching videos of his brothers talking to every outlet possible.
His brother loves him. Oh my gosh, his brother's so proud. It's really cute and really wholesome to see in a way.
Regular 60-some-year-old dudes, and they're just like, yeah, my brother is cool, and they're like, he's also the Pope, but like.
It's
just wild.
It's like, wait, then what do you do? My brother's the Pope. What do you do?
And the guy went to Villanova, so he's got he's got some Philly in him, and he apparently is a Villanova basketball fan, which is something that I have in common with him because I love Villanova basketball, and I'm sure we both
went best friends with him already. It's great.
When in 2017, when it was 2018, 2017, I should remember the name, remember the year, when the shot went down against North Carolina. But it's really cool. And anyways,
it was 2017, I think, because that was here in Houston.
That was in Houston, 2017. Yeah. Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
So yes, it's awesome. I think it's amazing, and they're going to have Mass at Wright Field on June 14th, which is a Saturday afternoon. Obviously not Sunday, because people have to go to regular Mass, I guess, on Sunday. I don't know how that works. Yeah. But yeah, it should probably be. I would imagine be a lot of people at that Mass. I wonder if people are going to pregame that Mass. Do you think people will pregame Mass at Chicago?
With bottles of Malort, maybe. I mean, I can see that happening.
I would totally. If I'm doing Mass at Wright Field that day, I'm probably having at least a shot of Malort. Maybe I'm going. What's the bar? Is it Pickles Pub, or is that that's Baltimore? What's the pub across the way from Wright Field that I went to that I really enjoy? I'm gonna have to find this out really quick.
Yeah, I get it. Astros lost, by the way. That's fun.
I'm sorry,
but it's okay. Oh my gosh, it just escaped my mind. But I was gonna ask, who was it? Just the AP who found that footage and the picture of him, or did someone dig in the archives themselves and was like, oh, this guy looks familiar. Do they know that it was him? That's just a wild find.
Yeah, I'm not sure who found that
photo. Because that's 15 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's insane.
I really don't know. I think maybe it was somebody on Twitter or Blue Sky or something, or I really don't know. Or maybe
that's a find right there. It's a needle in a haystack kind of a thing.
It really is something.
Actually, that's impressive.
It might have been the Sun Times. Because I believe the photo had his name in the cut line. And so I'd imagine once the Pope's named, somebody at the Sun Times, some editor or whatever, was like, I'm going to look in our archive and search Robert Prevost and find every time we've written about him. And if there's any photos of him, I'm sure there's got to be something. And they came across the photo and were like, holy crap, this is really awesome.
It's like, we did it. I think I saw, I think it was the Mets were playing or hosting the Cubs recently, and they trolled them by posting a picture of him. Like, hey, he's a White Sox fan. He's not a Cubs fan.
Yeah, I don't know. That's main character syndrome right there if I ever saw it. Oh, we're the ones. Nope, you're not the one.
Yeah. No,
Turtle,
it's like you're also still the White Sox. Keep that in mind.
well, they need something, so I like that.
Yeah, give them a little hope.
Turtles Bar and Grill. Turtles Bar and Grill, which is across the
Okay.
way from Raid Field. It's like there's a park that separates. It's like the ballpark, then there's a parking lot, then there's a park, and across from the
Mm.
park is Turtles. It's like one of two bars that are within like shouting distance of the ballpark. So you're either going there or the other place, which has another name as well. And what is it? It is not Sticks and Bricks. I forget what it is. Anyways, Turtles is good, but I would probably get a drink there, maybe have a shot of Malort, and then walk on over
Mm.
and have mass. It'd be a great day.
There you go.
Great
Just to
Saturday.
kind of get the holy water malort on you. That's it. Perfect.
Oh my God, yes, perfect.
Smelling great the rest of the day. Pure wormwood. All right. All right. This is one of the ugly things. A man tried to bring a gun into Truist Park.
Yeah, I didn't want to make this all just fun, casual stuff. Why not?
Huh.
It's just a reminder that, these things can happen sometimes when you're out in public. Joshua Faison of Fayetteville, Georgia, tried to enter Truist Park for the May 6th game between the Braves and the Reds. His bag set off the magnetometer, which is, the thing that I think is that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And he was carrying a 9mm pistol. And, of course, they detained him, and it was actually a stolen pistol. So he got charged with theft by receiving a firearm, which is a felony. So I don't know what prompted, what his plans were, what his motivation was, whatever. But thank goodness that they found that, it's common sense for anybody that you don't bring a gun into a major league ballpark. You just don't.
How? It's kind of up there with don't bring a gun to an airport. Just don't do it. That's stupid. Why would you do that? Like,
I wanted to mention this because I think as fans, we're living in a time when we always are worried about like what's going to happen around the corner or whatever. And, I'm not one of those people that, like, I know people who were like, when I go to the restaurant, I have to sit in the corner place where I can see the whole restaurant dining room. Because if anything happens, I'm the first one to see it. It's like, well, okay, dude, that's a little much.
If you're not in the mafia, it's okay.
A little much.
Chill.
I generally believe everybody, for the most part, is pretty good and is trying to make society work in some way. Whether they're as informed as they should be or not, I don't know. But obviously there's always going to be like the potential for something wrong to happen, and it's just a reminder that when you're at the ballpark, just like make sure you know where you are, and you know where your people are. Keep an understanding of what the closest exit is, basically, and just make sure you know what's going on, because sometimes we just we get to a baseball game and we're like, oh, there's 40,000 people just like me at this place, and I'm sure nothing's going to happen. Well, you never know. You just never know, and always keep in mind that stuff. So that's all I got to say.
Beware your surroundings. At Dakin Park, they've always, I don't know if I'm sure they have something similar in other parks. It's been a while, but we got the one where it's like the umpire talking to you. It's just like, if you see something, say something. Recognize your closest exit. Be aware of your surroundings. I mean, it's a nice reminder to have, like, even though a lot of people ignore it, kind of like they ignore the flight attendants sometimes on flights and stuff. It's like, it's still nice to have that just to kind of in the back of your head, even though you might not absorb it. It's a good thing to know.
I like half listen to the flight attendant.
Southwest, they're fun because Southwest has really fun flight attendants, like make jokes of things. So
that's true.
Yeah.
No, I try to listen a little bit because I'm like, I should know,
Yeah.
I'm an able-bodied man. If something happens, I'd probably be the first one to like put my life in danger. So let me just make sure like I know something before I shut off to the world and put my headphones on and listen to music for the next 3 hours. So there you go.
All right. This is fun. Ballpark chasing bride and her friends catch a foul ball in Miami.
Yeah, this is a fun story. I mean, I'm sure this happens more often than we think. But this was Sunday. What was it? May 17th, 18th? What was Sunday? Sunday was the 18th. The game between the Marlins and the Rays. There's this woman named Marilyn. She's from the state of Washington. She was wearing a veil, and was she wearing a Marlins jersey, I believe, or a Mariners jersey? I forget which one. But she was getting married, and her bachelorette party was in Miami. So she had, I think, 6 or 7 girlfriends with her. And they were sitting by the third base dugout, and the ball was fouled off the bat of Cameron Meissner of the Rays, and it came toward them. And one of her friends who played college softball, like, reached up and grabbed it. And they all went nuts, and they celebrated. And then, of course, within, like, an inning, the reporter from the Rays came down and talked to them and was like, "Well, let's talk
Ooh, a
about this whole
story.
situation."
Hey, go.
But what was revealed, and this is the cool part to me and to all of us, I think that we do this podcast, people listen, is that Marilyn, the bride to be, is a ballpark chaser. She is trying to get to all 30 ballparks, and Lone Depot is number 13 on her quest. So I just love the fact that she had her bachelorette party, and half the girls were wearing sunglasses, and they made a crack during the game. It was a Sunday afternoon game. So they made the crack, the broadcasters, about tell your friends to take off those sunglasses because, you're throwing all this shade at the players, which it's a bunch of guys saying it, so I didn't really laugh at it. I was like, okay, guys. Now, but my mind immediately went to, it's the Sunday afternoon after a Saturday night bachelor party weekend. Of course, half these women are wearing sunglasses because they don't want to show their bloodshot eyes right now.
Exactly. Yeah. And it's like maybe it's a little bright in there, It's like, just turn down the sun. Jeez.
Let them be. Just let them be.
Yeah. Let them have fun. They're having a great time. They're clearly there for a good time, and you're trying to shade them. Speaking of shading, come on. Let them have fun.
But they were having a good time, and the women were wearing T-shirts that said "Go Sports," which I just love. I just love it. I love Go Sports. It's great.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, they asked Marilyn about having her friends here for the moment, and she almost cried. And it was really sweet. But she's a ballpark chaser, and so
that's great.
Maybe, one of us. Yes. Maybe Marilyn will listen to this podcast at some point in the future or whatever. And,
that'd be cool.
And hello,
Marilyn.
But I just love the fact that you're having your bachelorette party, and like one of the things you have to do is like, oh, I'm in a new city, I have to go to the ballpark, and I've never been there before. So like, boom, love it, great.
I love that for her, and so that's it. So did like her friend who played softball, like, did she catch it like in the air, or did she go grab it? Because like those balls kind of hurt when you catch them out of the air like that.
It did look like a one-handed grab.
Wow.
Like, within
okay.
a sea of people, like she reached up and got it. And so
it looked
like a really good catch. Yeah. So that's awesome.
Good for her. Very nice. All right. Up next, there was a raccoon on the loose at Citi Field.
This is good and funny. And
this is goofy.
Also kind of ugly, but it's funny. This was May 14th, Mets versus Pirates. It seemed like a cooler night at Citi Field. And apparently this raccoon had been at the ballpark for a bit. It was hiding around in the batter's eye area behind center field. And it started bothering the camera operator for, I guess, what is it, SNY? They have, the fixed camera operator there at the batter's eye at every ballpark. There's one right there behind center field. And the raccoon was bothering this guy for a little bit, and he finally was like, I got to get out of here. And
he's like, I don't want rabies. I'm not feeling like it right now.
Yeah, and his boss was like, yeah, just leave your camera locked and then, head out of there. Get out of there as fast as you can. So he left for like a half inning or something, came back, and the raccoon was gone, which was good. But that meant the raccoon was somewhere else in the ballpark. And so the raccoon's like, apparently, like, this was, I think, what the Fangraphs wrote about this. The raccoon, this is really, like, go look up this story on Fangraphs. It's really funny. The way it was written, just, like, it's very detailed, very Fangraphsy. They spent, like, 1,000 words on the raccoon. It's very funny. But the raccoon was, like, running up and down the stairs and in the concourse for a second, and then finally, like, got back into the seating area in the seating bowl up in, like, center field and Citi Field. Like,
Oh, look at him. There he is.
Yeah, and he just, like, races across the row, and this guy who's, like, sitting at the row next to him just, like, sees out of the corner of his eye this raccoon and is like, what? That's a raccoon. Like, this is one of those things. That's a raccoon. And like, it just.
That's when you look at your beard and it's like, I think I'm done,
And then of course, like, the broadcasters catch wind of all of this because, the camera operator's got his thing going on. And so they spend, a little moment like talking about the camera operator or about the raccoon. And they show the video of the raccoon in slow motion going across the way. It's very good.
It's amazing.
Hilarious.
I love it.
We've had a lot of animals, but like, it's funny enough, like I thought, and the Fangraphs article talks about this, I thought raccoons at ballparks were not too.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's an old building. I was actually in there recently. It's an old building, like, who knows what's going on. It's like
Yeah. Oh
Raccoons
my God.
are like, along with roaches, are extremely, they're what's the word I'm looking for? They are what's the
Everywhere?
well, they're everywhere, but what's the word I'm looking for?
They're
They can bounce back. They're resilient. They're resilient, and so
resilient.
they
Okay.
can stand up in any kind of weather and fend for themselves on whatever they want. Obviously we all know raccoons eat whatever, and ballparks are places where there's tons of trash and food waste and
Yeah.
openings and crevices where they could just find their way in and get to their thing. So, I
They're
mean,
trying to take care of
listen.
the custodial jobs. They want their jobs. It's like I'll take care of that throwing away hot dog for you right
We
there. I
talked
got
about
it.
this last week. We can't, these labor problems. We
Oh,
got to
that's
keep these
right. Oh
work.
my
We got to keep
God.
these
Yeah.
workers. So yeah, we got to get rid of the raccoons from the ballpark so that they don't.
This is I'm kind of glancing over this article. It's kind of funny. It's like the truth is, says one raccoon control website, they're mostly fluff. With rare exceptions, if a hole is big enough to fit a raccoon's head, the raccoon will be able to squeeze its entire body through it. And they specialize in expanding holes with their claws. According to Webster's New World Dictionary, 1954, the word raccoon comes from the Algonquin, something I can't pronounce,
The good
meaning
land.
hey,
So the good land.
the good lady, but it means hand scratcher. So I guess that's how somebody named it, was a raccoon scratched an Algonquin hand.
There you go.
And then
There you
probably
go.
nothing good happened after that
Yeah.
because rabies was not great.
And then they found it in
So
Milwaukee. All right.
found it in
Well,
Milwaukee.
good stuff. Go read that Fangraphs article if you find it. But that's what happened at Citi Field this month. I mean, other things happened too, but that was hilarious. So I wanted to bring that up.
Yeah.
But that's it for Around the Ballpark. We are going to close the book on May 2025 Around the Ballpark, even though there's still like a week left in the month. Whatever. We'll get to next month's Around the Ballpark in about 4 weeks. But we'll be back here on Take Me Out to finish up the show. Stay with us.
Hey, Tim, did you know that you can find Take Me Out on Facebook? You can go to facebook.com/TakeMeOutPod. Hey, Tim, did you also know you can find us on Instagram at Take Me Out Pod? Is this news to you? It's amazing. And also, if you're seeing me waving at the camera right now, hello. You're looking at us on YouTube. Like, comment, subscribe, share. And of course, if you're just listening to us in your car or at home or at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, we love those 5-star ratings. They feed our souls, our baseball hungry souls, and they make us happy. And friends, I promise you, we do have Patreon coming soon. I promise.
We keep saying it every week, but
I know, and it's like the trust levels going down, but it's happening. I know it's happening.
For our many, 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 many fans out there.
Yes, dozens of us.
Yes, there are
Tens
dozens.
of us.
Yes, follow us, 5 stars, good reviews, please, 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 because how else do we grow? I don't know.
It helps us in the algorithm. Yay.
If you have a baseball podcast and you want one of us on the podcast, please let me know, because that also helps.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah, there you go.
It'll
We're
be
trying.
fun.
We're trying here. We are trying. Great plea. All right, welcome back to Take Me Out, final segment. And I wanted to, this is really cool. So the Red Sox unveiled their new Citi Connects. They had the blue and yellow Boston Marathon inspired Citi Connects, which I was okay with. I mean, I'm a fan of the Boston Marathon. I actually ran a mile of the Boston Marathon.
What happened to the other?
Well, I did this is back when I was a dumb man child, and I had very main character syndrome, and my then girlfriend was in the Boston Marathon and got to me at mile 25 point. What is it? 26 point. What is it? 26 points. I forget how many miles it is.
We're 40-year-old adults and we don't know.
I should know how long a marathon is.
Yeah.
But got to mile, the last mile right around Fenway Park, which is where I was, and she was like, 26.2. That's right. Yeah. So at 25.2, around that time at Fenway Park, she was like, I don't know if I can do it anymore. My training was a little tougher this year. I might just walk the rest of the way. And I was like, I'll go with you.
Tim.
And she was like, okay.
That's sweet, but stupid, but it's so sweet.
It's sweet, but it's it's not my marathon, right?
Yeah.
I should just encourage her to run the final mile and not be like, hey guys, I'm going to run with my girlfriend. So I did run the final mile of the Boston Marathon. This is in 2007? I don't know when.
Okay.
It was very long ago.
How'd you feel after it?
I mean, it was a mile. It was fine.
Okay, fine. Okay, you weren't out of shape. Okay, I'm out of shape, so that would have been just wheezing at the end. I'm like, but I've
run some 5Ks.
Okay. A lot more than I
Like
have.
legit, like not just like being an asshole, like actually running a 5K. Yes, I've
Nice.
done that. So
That's admirable. That's admirable. Good for you.
yeah. So, anyways, the Red Sox. They have new City Connect uniforms. They unveiled them, and they are inspired by Fenway Park itself. The unis, which were unveiled May 16th and will be worn this coming Friday, if you're listening before Friday, which would be May 23rd, I believe, and
Yes.
a couple probably other dates this year, I'm sure. They are green monster green, and the name and the number font match the scoreboard fonts on the monster. So
I love
it's
that.
really cool looking.
I love that.
It's
Yeah.
a cool uniform. I mean, it is weird that any uniform that the Red Sox give you that isn't red in some way, like those are always weird. Like the
Mm-hmm.
blue and yellow Boston Marathon, I think it said Boston on it, I want to say. But this one says Red Sox. So it says Red Sox, but the uniform is just completely like green and
Mm-hmm.
then white, So it's weird, but also it's very cool to
I
see a
love
Green
that.
Monster inspired uniform. So
Yeah.
what I thought we could do here in the final segment is do the old spin the wheel. We have our trusty wheel. We're going to spin it, and we have to create a City Connect uniform, and basically just the top, the jersey part,
Okay.
based off of that team's ballpark.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
You ready to do it?
I am. This is gonna be fun.
All right,
I
let's
hope.
spin that wheel.
Do it.
We are coming up on the end where we're going to get this is interesting,
Uh-oh.
the San Diego Padres.
San Diego Padres.
Petco Park, great
Okay.
park.
Yeah.
I mean, look, we can easily start with a name and do a dog themed jersey.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Like there's a bunch of spots and like around the collar, you actually have like a little red collar. And like instead of the tag right here, you have the player's number on the tag. It's right in front.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
you've immediately thought of something. There you go. And because it's the Padres and their color scheme, a brown and tan sort of color scheme. If you're
like a
thinking like
German
dogs,
Shepherd, kind of.
yeah, you could do a German
Yeah.
Shepherd style. Yeah, you could do a lab of some sort. You can
Right.
like a more of a chocolate lab kind of a thing. Like you could go different ways and still employ Padres colors
Right.
in a dog themed City Connect.
It would have to be dogs because you don't ever affiliate cats with baseball because dogs. I mean, because you don't have instead of a bat dog, you don't have a bat cat that goes to retrieve the bats.
There's
in
the
minor leagues.
Detroit Tigers. They're cats.
That's yeah, but you don't take tigers to Petco to get food, right?
I mean, if you're Tiger King, you might.
Yeah.
Joe Exotic.
Wait, oh man, yeah, I like that idea for just like a pet kind of a thing, and I like my idea of the player's number on the little dog tag thing.
I think that's a great idea. I think let's do one more that is like ballpark aesthetic influenced, right? So
Okay.
instead of just the name. So you have the Western Metal Supply Company
Right.
warehouse out there in left field. So, the angularity of it all, the bricks, the brown. Again, brown, fits in with the rest of the team. What else is at Petco that would kind of like really, I mean, it's there by the water. There's a really good beer scene there. You could do something beer themed, but the Brewers exist, so that would be maybe weird. The food at Petco is very good, but I don't know if there's a specific food outside of, again, they probably have a California burrito somewhere at the park, but I don't know off the top of my head if there is one, so I don't want to just assume and go with it. California burritos are awesome, though.
Yeah.
What can we do that is Petco Park focused? That says Petco Park, that says aesthetics. I mean, it's got to be something with the Western Metal Supply Company.
Yeah. Maybe like
It's like
kind of like a neon, like a construction fest or something, I don't know. Metalworking.
Like, it has that the name of the building is on the top there, Western Metal Supply Company, and it's in a very interesting font, and I think it's like a kind of it's like white on black maybe. And so you could do the font of the jersey has that similar font.
Okay. I can see that.
Is that right? Is it white on black?
Is it?
Is it just? I thought you were calling it up.
No, I'm just looking at Petco.
Oh no, that's okay. Yeah, it's white on black.
Okay.
And it's in like a kind of a blocky sans serif font, which I think could work. You have the archways, so maybe there's I don't know. Is there anything you can do with arches in the jersey? Maybe not. That might be weird looking. I think you could take
Make
the
like the
inspiration
N in
from the
San
building
Diego
font.
into an arch.
You could. You
Yeah.
could. I think
This
it's
is
got to
fun.
be Western Metal Supply Building though. Focus. I don't know. I can't think of anything else that sort of like screams like this is what the park is. You know.
Yeah. I mean, because anytime I think of Petco, like, I always think of the Tony Gwynn and the outfield and the giant hill they've got out there. But
They do have the hill out in center
yeah.
field. That's true. Funny enough, when I was at Petco, it was really funny enough at Petco that night. It was Bring Your Dog night.
Oh, funny.
So there were a lot of dogs, and they were all on the hill chilling out.
Oh, that's great. Oh, the good boys and girls. They're all good boys and girls.
Which is why I think your idea of the dog focused jersey is just a winner. That's the winner.
Yeah. I mean, you came up with it. I just came up with the idea have like a little collar with a tag with the players' numbers on it.
I think that's great.
That would be fun
I think
too.
that's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah, and then like when they when you have the players get like introduced like on the jumbotron, you just have them with like the TikTok dog ear filter on them.
You should be in the Padres marketing.
Yeah, I mean I'm waiting on my check. Come on.
Director of marketing for the San Diego Padres.
What a leap to greatness that would be. That'd be great. That'd be so much fun. I'd love to live in San Diego. It's a great city.
Town.
Yeah.
Beautiful weather. Yeah, great time. I got family there. I could move there.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's it. I guess that's it. So that's it for this week. Take me out. And next week we're
going to a baseball game
about Dyken Park and the Astros.
I'm so excited.
And live, and we'll do some fun stuff. We'll figure out what the episode looks like, but expect something coming off of a live watch along, hang out at Petco at Dyken to see the Astros and the Athletics. That'll be May 27th, Tuesday night, Dollar Dog Night. Very excited about Dollar Dog Night. Maybe
Me
we
too.
just do like an episode all about how many dollar dogs can Tim eat.
What's your prediction? How many do you think you can put down? I can do like 2.5. I don't know why. My stomach shrinks the older I get.
I don't want to like give myself a number that I know I couldn't meet, but I think I could probably do in a 9-inning game. I could probably at least do 6 or 7.
Okay. All right.
It's just a hot
keep that. I'm gonna lock that up here to remember. But now we'll definitely be planning on doing a lot of stuff on our Instagram. So, like I mentioned before, if you don't follow us on Instagram is at Take Me Out Pod. A lot of stories on there. We're gonna put some videos. I might even create a reel if I can remember how to do one. But yeah, it'll be fun. I'm excited for that.
So keep a watch out for that. And we'll be back here next week with more Take Me Out. Until then, I am Tim.
And I am Alex, and it is baseball season.
Check you next week.